Praise Ireland for the return of a Britball guy. Yes, here I am, back with another week of action from the league. Sorry for the delay of week 4's video. It seems YouTube aren't a fan of videos over 15 minutes. As always, I have been scouring the team websites for information and match reports so you don't have to. Something I have an idea about last week but couldn't tell you about due to the YouTube issues was an idea regarding the large number of postponements. My idea would be that there is an organised catch-up day, a gala of football, however you want to brand it. The idea is that you take a large playing area somewhere like Broughton Park in Manchester. As you can see from the very bad image I have taken from Google Maps, it has a lot of soccer pitches marked out. Now, what would happen if you changed those pitches into football fields? You then get everyone to play in one place at the same time. You can then play double headers if needed, make it an event, and get possible players or spectators interested in American football, depending on where it is. Or maybe you have multiple of them in multiple locations. This will save teams money, time, since they can play all the catch-up games in one place. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Contact me on Twitter, email, or leave a comment. The choice is yours. So with that, we move on to wherever this video is going, which is Division 2 North. And we begin with the Carlisle Border Reivers versus the Dundee Hurricanes. And it's a repeat of the Hurricanes opening game, which left them 3-0 so far. The Reivers not having the best of seasons thus far. 2 wins from the conceding Wildcats. The only scores so far was against the Hurricanes in week 1. The season is turning into a long one for the Reivers, but they can take solace in knowing that their defence is getting stronger. Since the first quarter remained scoreless, second quarter and the deadlock was broken, the Hurricanes breaking through, scoring a 2-point conversion, making it 8-0 at the half. Sadly for the Reivers, defence weren't able to maintain their strong showing of the first half, and the Hurricanes scored 2 more touchdowns in the third, so it ended 22-0 Hurricanes. One more unconverted touchdown from the Hurricanes meant it ended 28-0 at the end. No more games here means that it must be time to go east. Division 2 East, 2 games here, and first off, it's the Milton Keynes Pathfinders versus the Peterborough Saxons. This being the same feature as last week, the Saxons coming out on top 32-0. Both teams potentially fighting for the playoff berths, even at this early stage of the season. Okay, so this one was a close game first half, and the Pathfinders found themselves 14-0 after a couple of possessions. Deja vu must be the feeling in the Pathfinders sideline. However, it didn't remain 14-0 for long. 2 Pathfinders touchdowns drawing them level at the half. A touchdown from the Saxons in the third made it 21-14. A scoreless fourth quarter meant it ended 21-14 Saxons. Next up, and it's the Maidstone Pumas versus the Bedfordshire Blue Raiders. The Pumas trying to get over a heavy defeat last week against the division-leading Saxons. The Blue Raiders with a close victory over the Cheetahs, 6-0, losing themselves to the Saxons in week 1. A very detailed match report for this one, which explains all the scores, but sadly not in which quarters they were scored. So, the Pumas offense found it difficult to keep hold of the ball, and ill discipline meant that penalties were making life difficult for them throughout the game. The penalty during the punt put the Blue Raiders in a good field position and scored 6-0 after the Raiders quarterback, Perk, found receiver Alonso 8 yards out. Perk then scored, making it 12-0 Raiders, scoring twice more. The half finished 24-0 Raiders. Second half, and it didn't get any better for the Pumas. Running back Mooney found his way in from 20 yards out, 30-0 Raiders. It finally ended 42-0 Raiders. So we move on into Division 2 Central and the Staffordshire Surge versus the Sheffield Predators. The Predators had the repeat of this game last week, which was postponed due to the registration issues of their players. An inexperienced Surge team lost against the Railroaders in the week 2. Okay, the Surge didn't get any better. A high-scoring game this one. First quarter, and the Predators score through an 80-yard run from Darren Gale made it 6-0. The 2-point conversion was good. The 35-yard pass from Smith to Darracott made it 16-0. Another couple of scores left it 28-0 Predators at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, and things didn't get any better for the Surge. Predators racking up the scores, making it 56-0 at the half. Third quarter, and Jacob Munchie scored a touchdown from 1 yard out, 63-0 Predators. Third quarter ended with it being 77-0 Predators. One more score and it was all over, 84-0 game Predators. So as the Pet Shop Boys would say, go west, and it was the Glasgow Centurions versus the Cornish Sharks, and another repeat of the game from the week before. The Centurions looking to avenge the loss last week and starting to score, but not enough to make up the defensive frailties. The Cornish Sharks' confidence is growing after beating the Centurions last week, and with a close loss against the Bobcats in week 2, they'll fancy their chances. Sadly, only scores for this one, and it was the Sharks who won 40-14. When it was 24-8 in the second, a Sharks player to receive treatment for a possible neck injury. Hopefully things aren't too serious. The Centurions are scoring at least, even if their defence isn't strong enough to keep them in the game. Okay, so Division 1 North, a single game played here, and it was the Senators taking on the Nighthawks. The Senators looking for another win with numbers of 1-1. The Nighthawks not having the best of seasons thus far. Close losses to the Caesars in week 2 and 4, showing they have potential, but need to get themselves moving. A close game, this one. The Nighthawks scored during the first possession of the game, 7-0 Nighthawks. Senators soon struck back with a touchdown of their own. Ross Elliott crossing the line with a QB sneak. The extra point was missed, 7-6 Nighthawks. It was a squeaky bum time for both teams in the second half, which was eventually wrapped up with a field goal from Evander Haywood. The difference 9-7 Senators. Division 1 South now, and the 2 games for your delectation and delight in this one. We start with the Cambridgeshire Cats versus the East Kent Mavericks. The Mavericks smacking the Exiles to the tune of 42-6 in week 2. Looking to continue where they left off, the Cats are hoping that they can find some form somewhere after losing to the Renegades and the Thunder. The only information I have on this one is the score, and it was a win for the Cats, 30-8 over the Mavericks. It's the Cats' first win of the season, but if they are going to challenge for the playoffs, they are going to need to do better than the results of last season. The Mavericks did at least score in this game, and it's early in the season for them, so time will tell how badly the results have damaged their chances of progression up the table. Okay, game 2 in this division, and it was the Essex Spartans versus the Hampshire Thrashers. The Thrashers won the opening game against the Exiles by just a single point, but struggled against the division-leading Renegades. The Spartans lost their opening game against the Exiles last week, 14-0, so we will see if they are able to get at least some points on the board. The Thrashers found themselves having problems early in the first, with a wayward pass found Ali Minto for the opening score. Extra point good, 7-0 Spartans. Life didn't get any better for the Thrashers as James Woodward's pass was caught by a receiver, Paul Kosa, to make it 14-0 Spartans at the end of the first. Woodward scored again but suffered a broken collarbone in the process. 20-0 Spartans at the half. Second half and the game got sloppy. Defensive penalties costing both sides dear. This shown by the fact neither side was able to find the end zone in the third. Fourth quarter, and the Thrashers did put on a consolation touchdown, making it 20-6 Spartans. A final touchdown near the death from Liam Mills made it 27-6 Spartans. Right, so to the Premiership North, and 2 games to talk about here. We start with the Tamworth Phoenix versus the Yorkshire Rams. The Phoenix putting a dominant performance against the division-leading Pirates. The Rams' record so far shows how close the North Division is, with 2 draws with the Falcons and the Bulls. Sadly, nothing but the scores on this one, and it was the Phoenix who came out on top, 27-18. No draws today from the Rams. The Phoenix not finding it as easy as they possibly thought it would be, considering last year's performance. Second game, the Birmingham Bulls versus the Leicester Falcons. The Bulls lost heavily to the Pirates in their opening game, and then drawing with the Rams last week, they'll be looking to secure a win to move up the table. The Falcons failed to score anything in their opening game, but luckily neither did the Rams. Both teams will look to get results from this one. Again, nothing but the scores, and it was 6-all honours even, showing how tight it is in this division with 3 draws in it so far. Okay, so we move to the big one, the Premier Division South, and it's the return of the champions into action. London Blitz versus the Ipswich Cardinals. The Cardinals have been the whipping boys this season thus far, though they can relax a little knowing that they have little to no chance of being relegated. The Blitz probably feel they have played half the season already with their exploits in Europe. Okay, limited information in relation to scores in the quarters. The Blitz started as they left off last season with a touchdown on their opening possession. 50-yard touchdown from Charlie Joseph. They continued to ratchet up the score with another touchdown in the first quarter. Second quarter, and the Cardinals scored their first points of the season when a blown coverage on receiver was punished with a catch in the end zone. Second half, and it was all one-way traffic, leaving the final score 70-7 Blitz. Right, so that's all the games. We move to divisions, and as always, it's Division 2 North we start with. And now the Hurricanes are leading the way, the Blackhawks are second, the Wolves are third. The top 3 teams are yet to play each other. Glasgow Tigers are fourth, and the Carlisle Border Reivers are essentially last, with the Wildcats conceding. Okay, Division 2 East, the Saxons still leading the way here. The Cheetahs are trying to keep up in second. The Blue Raiders are third. The Milton Keynes Pathfinders are fourth. The Colchester Gladiators are fifth. And the Pumas are bottom. Division 2 Central, and it's now the Sheffield Predators leading the way in the division, with the Titans close behind. The Romans are third. Bombers fourth. Railroaders fifth. DC Presidents, as you can see, have had the draw confirmed with the Romans, and that leaves the Surge with a heavy defeat to the Predators, still propping up the table. Division 2 West, and it's the Bobcats who lead the way here. The Cornish Sharks are second with the Centurions third. The Apaches and Saints are yet to play in fourth and fifth respectively. Division 1 North now, and the Caesars still lead the way in this one. The Wolverines are second. The Senators, with their close win, are third. The Jets are fourth. The Trojans are fifth. The Revolution are sixth, and the luckless Nighthawks are last. Division 1 Central and South, Berkshire Renegades continue to sit pretty at the top of the table. The Thunder are second. The Spartans are third. East Kent Mavericks are fourth, and the South Wales Warriors are fifth. The Kent Exiles are sixth. The Cats are seventh, despite their win at the Thrashers, who remain routed to the bottom of the table. Premier Division North, the Phoenix are top with their win over the Rams. The Pirates are second. The Falcons, with their 2 draws, are third. The Rams are fourth. Bulls fourth, and the Mustangs last. Finally, to the Premier Division South, where we see the Warriors are leading the way. The Aztecs are second. The Blitz are third after starting their season. The Olympians are fourth. The Cardinals are fifth, with the Knights last. Okay, so that is it. We are done. Lots going on next week with the Warriors taking on the Blitz as one of the highlights. But this is it from me. Goodbye and see you next week.